back. Let's run a little test right here so I can watch it back on the stream. Let's see.
Should we turn the speaker volume down so it gets caught less in the microphone?
Well, that's what we're gonna test. Just how's this sound right now?
I guess it won't really matter that much.
Testing. Can you say something?
I can say anything you want me to, babe. It can be anything. I don't know. I'm guessing it's mostly just computer, huh? Desk stuff. We're in negative 17 now. So we're gonna start a new stream when we actually do it, or we're gonna have all this testing stuff included in that stream?
I'm just including one.
Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to our third round of the ESR ACC IGT series. Today we've been testing out a little bit of a different system for doing live streams, so thank you for participating if you were involved in any way. Today we are at the famous Suzuka circuit in Japan. I'm your commentator, Cole McRae. Today we are joined by
Ayrton Tobin, hello.
Yeah, so we've been hosting the series for the last 3 races, and since Matt Higgs has been currently leading the pack, what a shocker! Who could have seen that coming, right? Mike Stobmill will not be joining us today. He apparently has friends. What a loser! Just kidding. So this is our penultimate round in the series. The last one will be at Kielami, I believe. And so even in the short series, we've been seeing quite a bit of shakeups going on. I do believe this is a book-only server, no drop-ins. So we do see our kind of returning field. However, there are a few less of them than we're used to. Only 18, as you can see. Joel van der Valk in the in the 7th place Porsche. We do have a couple of newcomers, Arjona, I believe that's how you pronounce that. Andy Long returning. I assume it's Xavier Castaña Muniz in the number 98, 15 place Porsche. But other than that, pretty same old kind of deal. We're here for a good race, and hopefully our racers can provide us one of those. Oops, wrong button. So at the sunset hour of Kansai in Japan at Suzuka Circuit, we have our qualifying order. At the top of the pole is Matt Higgs, followed by Moly Demetrius Simeonidis. Oops. No, Andy Long snapped it up at the last second. So Andy Long, Moly Demetrius Simeonidis, Arjona, Anderson, Max Simons, Simones, Joel van der Valk, James Butler, Wayne Hutchison, Sebastian Alexandre, Mike Magus, John Barker, Douglas DeGroat, Xavier Muniz, I assume, John Picha, Javi Perez Torres, and Car Heroes pulling up 18th place in this race. So quite not too many unexpected maneuvers there. Pretty same old. Andy Long pulling a very strong 2nd place in the qualifying here. But other than that, pretty much expected behavior. Max Simmons is actually pretty solid 7th. So that's a nice turn for him. Interesting enough, Moly has the crown for the 3rd sector with a 26.637. Quite a big departure from our leaders. So we can kind of see that everything can go your way in any course of the track, but it's so long as you get there first, it doesn't really matter, does it? If I do remember correctly, this is a 1-hour race. That sounds about right. Well, I suppose we'll find out. With a mandatory pit stop, with all 4 tires change, and I believe also fuel.
Correction, this is a 90-minute race.
90-minute race, so extra long. Wow. All right, well, we'll be seeing the endurance of our drivers tested once again, and hopefully none of them crack, or hopefully actually all of them crack, because that's more entertaining.
Looks like we've got this little glitch again with the chat showing up. I can't return to.
That's fine. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Who cares? So interesting starting position. Is this where they start?
No, they're gonna roll out, do like a quarter formation lap.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say this is not the start-finish line.
Yep, it will be a rolling start.
Well, it's usually a rolling start, but I mean, normally they start from the start-finish line. Kind of interesting. Actually makes sense that they're starting from not the start-finish line, but I'm kind of curious as to why they don't do that on the other tracks, especially the likes of Spa and et cetera, et cetera. Oh well, we may never know. Of note rather is Aston Martin being on the podium for the qualifying at least. Andy Long is performing well, so I suppose it's well deserved. I'm attempting to find the name of Arjona, but I believe he might have used a different name for the sign-up, so unfortunately we will not be able to do that unless I just poke around and find it. Let's do that. Maybe, if I can use the cursor. No, it doesn't appear to be working. What a shame. I don't know how this setup was working. Bummer. Alright, well, in any case, we were going to run on board with Moly Moly Moly, our third place starter here. We'll see how well that works out. So this is me taking a picture of the qualifying, so I have it for later. Gotta say, I rarely see Suzuka at the sunset hour. It looks very different than what I'm used to, and it's gotta say, it's very beautiful. It's a shame they don't do ever any real endurance racing here that I know of. Mostly just short time races. That is less than 2 hours or so. And the lights are up. We're waiting for the green flag, and we are off. Looks like Moly 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 got a great start. Is making moves on Matt Higgs into turn 1. Looks like we got a Mercedes. That might be Demetrius Simeonidis taking the pole away from Matt Higgs. Looks like Moly's what's it called? A lead kind of or his run kind of dissolved there, as we see Matt Higgs kind of holding off and not able to get the spot back, but is still in a firm second place. So Demetrius Simeonidis making an excellent run into first. We see Mike Magus back in 16th, or no, 12th place now. What? No, he is 15th, so apologies. We have some switching ups. Car Heroes made his way from 18th to 15th, so a nice little run by him. Looks like Javi P was not able to get quite as good of a run. Matt Higgs still latched on to Demetrius. My tab appears to have frozen. There we go. So as they come out of the hairpin, and as they approach Spoon Curve, we see the beginning of the pulling away of the front there. So I believe that's Arjona is sort of functioning as somewhat of a cutoff, with maybe Van der Valk forming as a secondary cutoff.
It's true. There is no Stoffmill. There is no Del Real. It's like it's going to be Higgs versus Simeonidis versus Mole.
Oh, that's a shame. I forgot about Diego Del Real. Remember we last time, or was it 2 times ago? No, it was last time. Had a great race with Stoffmill, and unfortunately had to retire for just some bad luck that we weren't able to adequately get to the bottom of. Oh well, you know, that kind of thing happens. It's racing after all. That's part of the fun. And so without Stoffmill here, looks like we were kind of. It ended up kind of working out. Looks like the back of the pack is catching back up to the lead somewhat. We're getting some cut in. Or not cut in, I don't even know what to call it, just catching back up. So unfortunately this IGT series layout annoyingly does not have time gaps on the screen. So that's unfortunate. Unfortunately we can't do anything. Okay, so in the event, we were just looking at the stream that we were broadcasting, and it looks like there might have been some technical issues. Our microphone appears to have been maybe forgetting to send its data to YouTube. We're not entirely sure. We might have to...
Nope, it looks like it's all good now. It just didn't have that input as an option previously.
Well, it was showing the pickups, though. So... in any case, if this is the first time you're hearing us, welcome to the ESR IGT ACC series. Apologies if everything didn't work out quite as perfectly. You know that's how that always is, right? I mean, you know, Moore's law and all that stuff, or Murphy's law rather. This is our race at Suzuka Circuit, as I said, 90 minutes with a mandatory pit stop. Demetrius Simeonidis forming a pretty good charge against Matt Higgs. Moly 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 in third place, followed by Andy Long. We do have some newcomers. Arjona, who I'm not sure the first name is. Maybe we can get a little advice on that later. Joel Vandervalk returning for the. I think he was here last time actually. Who else? There was another person. Castaño Muniz, who I believe first name is probably Xavier. If it's not, I'm going to call him that anyway, so you can just suck rocks. But so far, so good. Not too much exciting, unusual things happening. We do have our kind of standard race fare. Mike Stoppmill is, of course, not here. He apparently has friends to hang out with, so we're not important. I guess I thought we were friends, but I guess not. But that's all right. That's all right. We have plenty of other racers to keep us company. 18 to be precise, which is somewhat less than we've had in the past, but it's pretty standard fare for the ACC series. So Matt Higgs still hanging on to the coattails of Demetrius Simeonidis, giving us a nice chunk of chase here. Sebastian Louis Alexandre falling to 10th place. I believe he held 8th earlier. That's pending verification. I have the qualifying results on my tablet here, but unfortunately it has taken a little poopy dump. Yeah, no, actually up. So he was 11th, so he's up into 10th, one spot. We had some switch ups at the beginning of the race. Matt Higgs qualified on the pole and has been passed by Demetrius Simeonidis, who made his way up all the way from 4th, so an excellent run from there. Moly did not lose any spots in that ordeal. Max Simmons got a poor exchange out of something with Wayne Hutchison and James Butler also experienced that. Simmons falling from 7th to 9th. And the like. Unfortunately, this overlay does not show timing gaps as much as we would have liked. That's just a quirk of the IGT overlay that we're using. Not our fault, of course. It is who knows his fault. So
Flashing lights.
Matt
Here
Higgs,
he goes.
Matt Higgs giving a little flashy light flash. One thing, that Andy Long in 4th place did qualify 2nd, so we got a bit of that bad exchange between Higgs, Demetrius, and Moly. One of our only Aston Martins to finish on the to start on the podium rather, finishing and qualifying on the podium. Car Hero is having a battle with Muniz, who appears to have fallen slightly from 15th into 17th. Looks like they're battling pretty well, just by their swapping of positions here and there. Oh yes, so Muniz fell again to 18th. I wonder if he has some damage from that battle that we had with Car Heroes. Javier Perez Torres picking up the spot. Slam bam, thank you ma'am. No problems at all. Oh yeah, what's Xavier? I was right. And
let's go back and see if we can watch this.
Yes, let's see what happened there. So that appears to be Doug DeGroat.
Oh!
Yeah, just tapping an Audi. I believe that might have been Javier, or maybe it was
No, because Javier later passed him.
maybe even John Barker. Barker defecting from the Audi team, or defecting to the Audi team rather from the Honda team. Looks like that might have been John Barker. So alas, he had finally had enough with the Honda. He had brought it to some pretty good finishes in the last few races, and indeed in the ACC Blancpain series that we had just a few months ago. But sadly, it appears he's had enough. Like Fernando Alonso has jumped ship from Team Honda to, this time to Audi instead of Mercedes or Renault. Where did Alonso go to?
He hasn't gone anywhere.
Oh, I thought he went to Renault. Oh no, the McLaren team switched to Renault engines. Okay, my bad. So I wonder if Muniz is in the pits. It appears he is trying to at least repair some damage. If not, that is retiring. I can't say it would be super surprising to see either. Matt Higgs going wide for maybe a pass attempt on Simeonidis, getting side by side around the outside of turn 1. Not going to happen. Although he's getting slightly to cut back, it looks like he was able to bump Demetrius a little bit and force him maybe wide. Not gonna be enough. Although he is hugging the inside line, trying to get some Moly. Moly is licking his lips behind them, trying to see if one of them makes a mistake, something that he can capitalize on.
Take a look, see from Moly's view.
Interestingly enough, looks like Simeonitis does not have his lights on. I wonder at what point he will get penalized for that. You might want to turn them on at some point. So it looks like Moly's taking a very conservative line, trying to not break his car or anything. Samir, you're breaking the car! He's not doing that. Matt Higgs is going very bold. He wants that first place spot. Oh, Demetrius Simeonitis goes a little unstable under braking. Makes it cut. Oh, Moly's found his opportunity. He's going around the inside of Matt Higgs. Doesn't have quite the line out or the launch that he wanted, so pulls back. Smart move on his part. Don't want to go too bananarama around the entrance to Spoon Curve, although he is hungry. Got eyes on the prize of Matt Higgs' thighs. Looks like he is calming himself a little bit, sliding into position, maybe just trying to, again, hold on to third while waiting. Looks like Andy Long has made a little bit of progress. Looks like Arjona has fallen back slightly, not much, but a little bit. Wonder if Andy might be doing this similar thing to Moly, trying to wait out a impending catastrophe, which is more likely than not. Let's be honest. Suzuka is a very technical track, and you know it's very easy to catch yourself out when racing here. Oh, Moly might have found his moment again. Got a run off of the final chicane on Matt Higgs. Makes the pass, but is on the outside of turn 1. Looks like he took it nice and tidy. Maybe trying to get a cutback. Although maybe he gave Higgs a little bit too much room and gave him the chance to pull away slightly.
It's like Max might have had an issue according to the overlay here.
The chicane. Fun stuff. Oh, it looks like maybe DeGroat. Is that DeGroat, I believe? Might be Car Heroes. DeGroat or Car Heroes gave him a little bit of pause for punishment. Yeah, it was DeGroat. So, and not as quite of a balls to the wall experience as we're somewhat used to, but certainly there's a bunch of activity going on. I'm sure Jack will be happy that there is a more limited number of events happening. Although Higgs and Moly are right on the tail of Simeonitis, not giving him any room to get ahead. But not battling too hard, so not losing too much time. As you can see, Andy Long and Arjona are not gaining on them at all. In fact, I would say they're probably losing a little bit of time. But we can't be sure, again, because of the timing. Hopping on board with Matt Higgs. Well, on board, but focusing on Matt Higgs, who flashes his lights slightly. Setting a best lap of 2 minutes, 2 seconds, .313. A very good time. But I feel like it is... He's not holding on to that as much. His last lap was almost 2:04, if I remember correctly. That's to be expected in a race, but I wonder if Moly might be starting to capitalize on that a little bit as we shift on board. On the inside of Mr. Higgs's Huracan GT3 Evoluzione. Although his last lap was a 2:03.1, so he is reeling that back in slightly. Still about 0.8 off his best time, but that's, again, to be kind of expected.
Looks like Higgs has got turn 1 down a little bit better at this point.
Yeah, Moly falling off slightly. I have to wonder if that is trying to stay composed and wait for him to make a mistake, or if he just had a bad turn 1. Anything is possible. Unfortunately, we don't have any evidence to suggest anything, so I'm going to have to just smile and wave. Unfortunately, due to the lack of a timing sheet, we do have to make some guesses as to what exactly is happening in the field. So let's hop on board with Schlo Schmidt, who sometimes goes by Max Simmons. I don't know. So so battling with James Butler, who is battling with Sebastian Alexandre. Looks like they are very tight. Oh, and then Wayne Hutchison has joined the fray. No doubt Wayne will attempt to capitalize on any mistakes that they make. But that is his trademark style. Very calm, very collected. Although it seems like with the tight streets of Suzuka, it might... Ooh, James Butler getting very wide, late on the brakes, might have outbroke himself, and giving the position to Louis and Wayne, respectively. So Mr. Schmidt is holding on nicely. He's got quite some distance up to Joel Vandervelde, maybe about 4 seconds, can't say for sure. Wayne Hutchison just set his best lap last lap, 2:02.9. So very good showing. So how far back is Magus from Butler? We can't say. I assume it's at least 10 seconds, considering that he had that incident with Doug DeGroat a few laps ago.
Worth note, Long in 4th he's hanging in there, still within sight.
Yeah, definitely 2 or 3 seconds out, but has held on, which is not something that's easy to do. That said, when cars battle with each other, they can slow each other down, but when they are a little bit of distance apart, not directly fighting so much, they can actually get a boost off each other as they fall into the draft and push a little bit harder. So tip of the hat to Andy Long for holding on as well as he has. Same goes to AR Hona. Looks like someone off. Oh, Demetrius Simeonidis dipped too off going around Dunlop.
And Higgs just followed him right off.
Higgs followed him around. But look at Moley. Moley is done as I predicted. Oh, Higgs forcing him wide. Looks like Demetrius is going to get back. Higgs. Oh, not Higgs. Moley freaking dipping too off again. Oh, what a disaster.
This looks like it's shaken out.
And Andy Long coming into... Okay, we're going back.
Let's take a quick look. Back in the past, see what happened here.
Well, it looks like Simeonidis just dipped too off. That's a terrible time to do that because of Dunlop curve. The decreasing radius. Moley tried to capitalize, but Higgs wasn't letting him have it. Just kind of forced him wide, held his line, and what is happening? Okay.
Here.
So yeah, Moley just dipped too off, got a little bit over eager on the acceleration, and that gave Andy Long 3rd place. So as we come back to real time here, hopefully, Andy Long is still in 3rd. Demetrius Simeonidis has fallen back to his qualifying position of 2nd. No, Andy Long was in 2nd, wasn't he? Hold on, let me give verification on that.
It was Higgs and Demetrius.
Nope, it was Long. Long qualified 2nd, Demetrius was 4th. So Moley from 3rd, his original qualifying has fallen all the way down to 7th, 8th, 9th now.
So with that madness outside of Moley, we're mostly back to qualifying here.
Yeah.
But we did lose Moley, which is too bad considering he was the one who came in and kind of swept up from those other guys' mistakes.
He had a very good strategy setup, and look, Arjona has actually sort of picked up the pieces as well, and is now hot on the tail of Andy Long, which means he's potentially in position for a podium.
Let's take one more look at exactly what happened with Moley here.
Oh, even Higgs he just got over eager on acceleration. Dipped, looks like his left rear tire into the sand, and is now finding himself in 11th place. Now fighting for survival with Mike Magus. Looks like he didn't take too much damage on that off, but he's certainly got a hungry Mercedes that wants a piece. I've no Javier Perez Torres making his way up to 14th place. Down from... never mind.
No.
I love Piers. I spoke too soon. He is backwards.
Nevertheless, still up in 14th. That's nice to see.
Looks like he lost around 130R, but it doesn't look like that cost him too much. He's down in 17th. Oh, so back into...
Let's take a look and see exactly what happened.
If the cameraman will... Nope, we don't get to. The cameraman has a stroke.
Looks like he just lost around 130R.
Whoa, man! Oh, man, almost taking out James Butler at the process.
Oh, those positions we just talked about.
Oh, a nice stylish 180 there. Like I said, I do like that livery a lot. Unfortunately, looks like commentator's curse applies as always.
No, this is still under the replay at the moment. There we go.
And Mike Magus in 12th. Still battling with Moley, it looks like, although Moley is pulling away slightly. So it looks like the top 3 are pulling away slightly. Arjona is not able to maintain quite the pace that he was earlier. Is Arjona a female? I feel like I've heard that name before. Nope. Albert, nope. Oh! Demetrius Simeonidis lost it! Around the last chicane. Oh, what a nightmare. Suddenly is Andy Long to pick up the pieces yet again. Although now Arjona looks to be fighting with Vandervalk and Louis Alexandre. No, Andy Anderson maybe. No. That is Schlo Schmidt and Wayne Hutchison, actually. Wait, no. Well, that's not Wayne Hutchison.
Alright, you know that deserves a second look.
We're just gonna look at every incident that ever happened. Oh! No, looks like Andy Long gave him a little bit of a punt coming into the chicane. Uh-oh.
That's not good at all.
No. Now finding himself back in the sixth.
Still got 70 minutes to go, and Demetrius was showing some of the best speed out there, so...
And as of 5 minutes ago, our pit window is open? We've only been going for about 20 minutes.
Looks like it's a good hour-long pit window. Basically, pit when you want.
Yeah, okay. Alright. So, whatever you say, guys. We don't set the rules. Javier Muniz is still in the pits after his accident, so I believe he's retired. So Albert Arjona. Arjona? Oh, I thought it was Arjona. My bad.
Let's do a nice little run down the grid here. Just check on everyone's
Matt
point.
Higgs is able to, with that accident, Matt Higgs has been able, looks like Andy Long had to dodge Demetrius Simeonidis, and as a result has fallen back on Matt Higgs, or from Matt Higgs. Notice he just getting out of a voiceover. It's gonna keep doing that. Well, yeah, it'll if you unmute yourself while you're deafened, it'll undeafen you.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Okay.
Alright.
Anyway, as we were saying, going down the order, Albert Arjona, Andy Anderson, Joel Vander Valk in fifth, Demetrius Simeonidis falling back to sixth, Sebastian Louis Alexandre, how does it come into 130R? Looks like Alexandre and Schlo Schmidt have made some progress, and it looks like Demetrius might be having some... Ooh, the director is blown up. Oh, we're not seeing it though. That's okay. Anyhow, Wayne Hutchison following closely on board, or up on Max Simons. Moly Moly, likewise, but is back in 11th again. Mike Magus following. I believe they're still battling, if I'm judging the map correctly. Okay, looks like we might have lost the director tool. It's a shame. I mean, not entirely unexpected. This thing is a little bit garbo. But what can you do? That's just how it works. Anyway. What was I saying? Oh yes, Doug DeGroat in 13th, John Picha 14th. Oh, looks like we had a little bit of a leg spike. John Barker 15th, Car Heroes 16, Javier Perez Torres 17, and Javier Castaño Muniz in 18th, but I believe that's a DNF. Looks like Doug DeGroat and John Picha are distantly fighting. Maybe that will... oh, that's John Barker. Wait, what? Oh, John Picha and John Barker. Okay. Car Heroes being followed closely by Javier Perez Torres. He may be down lap. We're not sure. As we said, Muniz is out of there. Wonder why he's in left, actually. Wow, so Andy Long's lost a lot of progress on Matt Higgs. I wonder if he had an off, because Albert Arjona and Andy Anderson and Joel Vander Valk, no, not Vander Valk, just Arjona and Anderson, have caught up pretty nicely. Leading me to believe that something went wrong. Long still putting up a very strong showing for the Aston Martins. With second place, Andy Anderson has been back and forth between Aston Martin and Porsche, I believe. So who knows what's going on there. A little background as to why I'm calling Max Siemens Schlo Schmidt. He has the exact worst phone keyboard ever envisioned by man. It looks really cool, but it's impossible to read. Either that or he has fingers that are approximately 3 inches wide, making it a little harder to type. So he keeps sending me all these ridiculous messages that I can't read, and he blames it on autocorrect, which I know it's false. It's actually 100% his fault. And one time he proclaimed himself to be Schlo Schmidt instead of actually what I imagine he wanted to say. He also called Michael Schumacher Michael Dehumidifier, which is another fun one. I'm definitely going to be using that if ever he returns to Formula 1, or even if I see him in a YouTube video. So yeah, that's the backstory behind that. He was actually complaining that I don't butcher his name enough, which, I mean, how many different ways can you butcher Simmons? I mean, I did it like 3 times in a row, Siemens, Simones. Whatever, we'll get our name butcherers on the topic, and hopefully we'll have something. If not, who cares? He's an 8th. Matt Higgs pulling off quite a convincing lead on Andy Long, who may actually be holding up Albert Arjona and Andy Anderson behind him. Looks like they are kind of bunching up a little bit. Well, Joel van der Valk appearing in the distance has about a preliminary. Oh, Andy Anderson having a tough time with 130R. But looks to be making up some of that back in the next chicane. Joel van der Valk a few seconds behind them. Ooh, Albert Arjona making a pass on Andy Long. Looks like Andy got a little bit squirrely out of the final turn. They're side by side, I think. Yes. Albert's on the outside. Looks like he backed off slightly. Will he try to get an undercut? It doesn't look like it. So it appears Andy Long is just about at that point where it's just a little bit too hard to he's a little bit slower than Arjona and maybe Anderson as well, but not enough to make it easy to pass, unfortunately. So I've been in that situation before, especially at our last 3D Speed Series race at Zandvoort. Looks like we had some dust in front of us. I wonder if Matt Higgs had a tough time with Dunlop curve. Doesn't look like it, but you never know. Arjona making worrying amounts of headway on Andy Long. Oh, Andy Long outbreaks himself into the hairpin. Arjona goes alongside, but coming into the to spoon, maybe he'll be looking to see what Long does around that corner. There's quite a bit of leeway, and it's an easy one to misjudge, especially with its weird double apex decreasing radius. Although it looks like Andy Long was able to keep it together for now. Actually, looks like he made some time. Sparks coming off the diffuser of Andy Long. Nice little fireworks show. Coming to the final chicane.
So initially I thought that was sunset, but I'm starting to think that was sunrise we saw.
Yeah, that's a good point. It looks like it might be
like
getting...
it's just kind of overcast, but later in the morning.
I'm not sure because it looks. I mean, it feels like it's getting darker, but yeah, but it's it shouldn't be getting. It should be getting much darker if it was at nighttime, wouldn't it?
No, yeah, that might just have been earlier sunset. And now it's kind of a less direct lighting,
I don't know. It's a. Well, it says 6:28 p.m. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, this is later.
I'm sorry, I'm not blind. I like how we noticed that at the same time. So as good as it is for the drivers, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of action going on. It looks like people are just kind of maintaining status quo for now. Dimitris Simeonidis has appeared to make up a little bit of time. What was he, 7th earlier? Yeah, so passing Sebastian Louis.
I think he's catching that group ahead of him little by little.
Passing Sebastian Louis Alexandre.
Max Simmons, not bad.
Max Sermons. Oh, looks like James Butler got by Wayne Hutchison. Moly still relegated to 11th for now with a sizable gap to Wayne Hutchison.
Might take a little bit of damage.
Certainly possible. Mike Magus just cruising around. Same with Doug DeGroat. Looks like all of our lower placed drivers are not really in fights with each other. It's really such a shame that this overlay doesn't have timings. I wonder what they were thinking when they introduced this. So you have to say, A little bit of gap popping in between everyone. Andy Long actually making some time, holding his time rather, on Albert Arjona, and Andy Anderson likewise following suit. Is this real time? No, it was 5 minutes, so this must be like triple time or something.
Alright, what's the best sounding car in this field?
I mean, they all sound okay, but nothing super.
Maybe
super
Lamborghini, just right on board with Higgs.
Yeah, the Audi V10 is certainly a good sounding engine. I don't think we have anything super stand out right now, though. It's a shame that whoever it was wasn't driving the. God, this is gonna kill me. Who was driving that Aston Martin V12 last 2 weeks ago, last race?
Oh, it's Benny Chazo.
Oh yeah, Luciano Ichazo. Yeah.
Well then, in the meantime, let's just go silent here and do a lap with him.
Let's pump it up.
We're gonna get loud!
Yeah! Nice.
Folks, I hope you enjoyed that Get Loud. As always, Get Loud is brought to you by your local library. Get Loud.
And be sure to read, except for you can't because I think all libraries are closed right now. At least in the United States of America, where we currently are.
Looks like we did lose someone, but it wasn't Muniz, because he's still there.
No, we have 18 still. We started with 18.
Yep, you're right.
Looks like Javier Perez Torres and Car Heroes have swapped positions, though. Car Heroes might have made a mistake of some sort to make that happen.
So this is gonna end as a night race, it looks like.
Yeah, looks like we have about triple time.
Ooh, close fight.
So the race will end approximately 9-10 o'clock.
Gonna start seeing all those LEDs.
Do you think Daft Punk is going to be there?
Probably.
I hope so. This broadcast is brought to you by Remner Brothers Hefeweizen, the original American Hefeweizen. Picks them up at your local 7-Eleven today.
Oh, running a little wide.
That's what I'm drinking, by the way.
This is coconuts, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is.
Oh, 666 Coconuts. You're
Yes,
right.
FRU. This is indeed Mr. Coconuts of
He
the
has an-
coconut fame.
He has an. Oh, who went off there? It was a Ferrari, I think. James Butler, maybe. Might have been a lag glitch.
Yep.
I saw someone nose in. It was a white Ferrari looking thing. Whatever. We'll just count it up to fun internet stuff. Sebastian Alexandre. We now have two French-sounding people, although I think
I think it was just the next Ferrari coming into view. We saw.
it looked like whatever. I'm insane.
Ooh, we got a couple good fights going on here.
Yeah, so Dimitris Simeonidis has again found himself under fire. This time from Schlossschmidt. Nope, just kidding.
Nope.
Schlossschmidt found himself under fire from Louis Alexandre. Right? That was what I was watching. Yep, maybe. Anyway, Dimitris Simeonidis and Joel van der Valk are now duking it out. Simeonidis has clawed his way up to this position, so it is not unforeseeable that he won't be able to continue to do this. Looks like some of our racers are starting to pit.
Are we going to see Demetrios dive into the chicane? Not quite close enough.
I'm not sure. We are coming. We're within 10 minutes of our halfway point, so we still got quite a bit of racing left to do today. Maximum Seaman has held off Coconuts Louis Alexandre.
See what Hutchinson wants to do with these boys ahead of him.
Looks like Hutchinson has lost a little bit of ground. Not much, but some. It is up to Seaminator to hold off all of France, really. Much in a similar way to Rey Palpatine holding off all of the Sith in the most recent Star Wars movie. Spoiler alert, after the spoilers happened, of course. So Doug DeGroat, John Peach, and Car Heroes have made pit stops, satisfying their pit window. Really? This freaking... Okay, so, real talk here. I hate the Assetto Corsa Competizione new overlay. Why? Like, it's literally only gotten worse. Why? So now we don't even get to see who's pitted. We just get to show that they're pitting. Who cares? Like, we could see that when they're being passed. Why not just show when, whatever. Rant over. Did they contract Ubisoft to do the flipping overlay development or something? Simeonidis is still holding on to Joel van der Valk. I'm actually fairly surprised. Looks like he's lost a little bit of ground. So he's made his way all the way up to Joel. Maybe they had an altercation that we didn't get to see. And Demetrius got the slight worst of it. So he just hit 6:58 p.m. as the timer clocked 53 minutes. Just for reference. It looks like he did get a better run out of the turn, the final chicane, than Van der Valk did. Yes, so it is 3 times speed. So he turned over to 52:40, just as we at 6:59 p.m. So we're at 3 times time progression. So I'm kind of curious as to what Demetrius' strategy here is. He's got one of 2 options here. He can push Joel, knowing that he is slightly faster overall, and try to get him to make a mistake. He's got 3 options actually. He could push him and with the intent of passing, which is maybe not smart right now, seeing as it is pit time. Or 3, he could hold his nerve until Joel pits, or he pits, and try to get some clean air. I have an inkling he's waiting for Joel to pit. Seeing as if he pit, there's a chance he could not be in clean air anyway. That's just tarnishing his opportunity. Looks like James Butler has joined the fray in the hunt.
In a hurry.
Yeah, he's got somewhere to be, hunting down Wayne Hutchison, who has currently been pretty not under fire this whole race. So Max Salmon has been holding firm, not too much. Ooh, looks like he's got a little attempt made by Louis Alexandre. Looks like he got the better run at the turn though. Alexander flashing his lights.
This is gonna get tricky.
Alexander making a dive perhaps into 130R. Nope, back off. That's a smart move. 130R is a terrible place to pass. Although he is still going to the inside, so maybe.
I have to wonder. We're approaching halfway. Is one of these guys? You know,
Ooh, little bump, little bump.
Oh.
Alexander gave Max a bump, and looks like it causes his car to unseat itself. And ooh, moly goes by there.
I was just wondering if one of those guys is gonna just dive in the pits and try and undercut the others.
If I was Alexander, I would do it now. He stands the most to gain from a pit stop at that current moment. That was actually somewhat lucky.
He might actually.
No, it doesn't look like it. Okay. Any case, so Simmons lives to drive another lap. I forget if the tires in the when they're applied new out of the pits. I forget if they're heated. I think so. I'm not sure. That could affect his decision. Although if I was,
Don't believe they use tires.
if I was Sebastian, I was Sebastian, I would do it anyway. Although I'm not him, so it is his decision. James Butler still hot on the charge against Wayne Hutchison. Looks like the battle with Sebastian Alexandre has not affected their pace at all. So they're right about where they would be if the Frenchman had been still there. Ooh, James Butler getting really close to Wayne. Looks like he might have a little bit better pace. I wonder if it's good enough to actually make a pass attempt in the next few turns.
You know, this track goes by quickly when they're hard racing like this. I feel like we were just back here a moment ago.
Yeah, probably were. Gosh, I gotta say I love Suzuka. One of my favorite tracks. Such a good opportunity. It's on my bucket list to go there one time.
Running nice and wide, getting all that speed.
I realized Wayne Hutchison's car is sponsored by Bertone. When does Bertone and Mercedes have a deal?
Interesting. But they're using up all that track.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see when drivers make their pit stops. Because that is not the most crucial of all the strategic elements here, but it can have an effect, especially, like I said, if I was James Butler, I would pit now. Like, get out in some...
Simeonitis kind of lost a little bit of touch with that fight.
Did he? Wait, the one with Vanderbilt?
Yeah. Well, he was all over his bumper now. He's
Oh, yeah,
dropped
okay.
about a second back.
Fair enough. Mike Magus sitting in 12th place, having a race. Pretty uneventful.
Arjona, meanwhile, 3rd place.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Holding on. Definitely not, looks like doesn't have the pace to match Long or Higgs.
Well, he hasn't totally lost touch.
Well, but he's not catching them up at least. Maybe I spoke wrong words. Oh! Vanderbilt being a little bit wide out of Degner too. But not enough to unseat himself.
Wayne Hutchison's still on the hot seat.
So Wayne has actually made it, looks like he made up a little bit of ground. Again, we can't confirm that because we don't get to see exactly what the gap is. But looks like he may have, well, whatever he made up, he looks to have just lost in that hairpin. What a shame. Tip of the hat to Mr. Hutchison. His driving style is something that many drivers try to emulate, but few rarely do successfully. Very calm, very collected, very strategic. Not one to make many mistakes, and normally when he does, it is actually someone else's fault in disguise. I know this. I've taken James Butler. It looked really unstable when he went over that grass, but it wasn't actually that bad. Anyway, Wayne Hutchison, tip of the hat to you. You're a good driver. So, just like that, James Butler is going into the pits. Only our 4th driver to do so, not under racing conditions.
I believe this weather is, not set to be clear. It could show up as anything, and those clouds aren't looking too friendly.
Go into the game and press escape. I want to see what the forecast is. So, 3 minutes clouds and 10 minutes clouds.
Mm-hmm.
So, looks like it's pretty average. Shout out to Honda Techno Fort. How do I go there?
Interesting to see where Butler comes out.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be... Wow, it got dark. I think it'll be probably back there with DeGroat and the like, but... Wait, no, that can't be right.
This order is all very confusing right now. Ooh, there is the Ferris wheel.
Yeah. That's, again, on my bucket list. I want to go on that Ferris wheel. It'll probably be like $10,000 million. But
You can't tell without the director tool. Our only option is to move sequentially, and not even in running order, but on track position.
Yeah.
Does not help. Should get a bit more sorted out after the pit sequence.
Actually, oh, looks like Wayne Hutchison has lost some more time to Max.
I was actually searching for Javier Perez Torres. I saw he was up in 14th.
Looks like he lost. Yeah, he.
And just like that, he has dropped from the race, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is what, the 3rd time in a row. Javier seems to be struggling with his internet connection recently.
It's the program itself.
Okay. Well, regardless, it doesn't really matter. That's really unfortunate. Knowing Javier, he doesn't deserve that fate, but what can you do? So we're kind of starting to see the solution of this running order kind of dissolve out into its homogeneous form. Dimitri Simeonidis and Wayne Hutchison and Molly all 3 pitting together. So we're starting to see this more happen as we pass our halfway point in the race, 45 minutes. Before that, I was going to say that we seem to have seen a lot of our cars kind of even out into their models. The Mercedes have kind of taken over the midfield, with the exception of John Picha. The Ferraris are kind of sliding toward the back, unfortunately. The Porsches and the Aston Martins are, meanwhile, going towards the front. Suzuka is a very balanced track, but it does slightly favor the straight line speed-oriented cars. Very much the land of the Bentley.
Ooh, alright, here's all these guys in the pits.
Yeah, so Dimitri Simeonidis pulling out first.
Makes sense. The real question is going to be Wayne versus Butler, because they were in that same group.
Molly got out before Wayne, and Wayne is taking quite some time. So James Butler.
Comes Butler. Oh, here goes Wayne.
Hutchison. I don't think he's going to make it. Yep, that's it.
Nice undercut for Butler.
James Butler getting a wonderful run. Does that put him in front of Molly?
Well, Molly was behind them already, so Molly actually gained a little bit of ground on Butler. It's just Hutchison dropped behind both of them.
I wonder if he might have taken the time to fix some damage.
Possible.
I don't know if they're taking fuel. It's not required, I don't believe.
Yeah, Hutchison lost a little bit of ground there.
Down to 12.
Heroes, I don't believe he's pitted yet. Well, no, he's just started. He's up ahead. He's in 16th, yeah.
I believe he's the first one to pit.
Simeonidis, he has pitted.
I just realized, it's really interesting how we say pitted. Like, shouldn't it just be pit? Like...
Magus, meanwhile, he has not yet.
Arjona and Van der Valk now swinging into pit lane along with Coconuts. Sebastian Alexandre. That's my French. 2 identical Porsches sitting right next to each other. It's interesting to see that way.
Van der Valk.
Mm-hmm.
Magus, meanwhile, still hasn't been into the pits.
Making his way up to 6.
Simons, Anderson, Long, or Higgs.
So our top drivers have still not pit. Obviously, they have 26.
Yeah, Higgs had a pretty big lead there. I would expect him to really just stay out until, he starts feeling the tires drop off.
Yeah.
No reason for him to come in. We're skipping him.
Oh, Albert Arjona getting a stop-go penalty of 30 seconds. So that... No, I would bet my life on it. Oh, and Douglas DeGroat going off track around... What is that? That's the S's, the beginning of the S's. A really odd place to go off, but it can happen. So I have no doubt that Arjona's penalty will come as a result of speeding in pit lane. Even now, we find people struggle greatly with that, myself included.
There we go. Vandervalk has also been passed by Butler. He made up some nice ground.
So Butler is now in 8th.
Well, a few others haven't been in the pits yet.
Where's Vandervalk?
Right behind him.
No, but what? He's in 9th. Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, but Vandervalk and Simeonitis were ahead of that group previously. Simeonitis is up ahead, but Butler has made up a number of positions here.
Well, that's nothing to say about Arjona, who will have to serve that stop-go penalty.
Arjona's going to have to pit, Magus has to pit, Simmons has to pit, so that would put Vandervalk in 5th.
Simmons has a pretty substantial lead on Butler. We'll have to see, though. Will it be enough?
Well, he was behind him before pitting anyways.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought Simmons was like 6th. Huh, whatever. We'll find out. Not a big deal. So it looks like Arjona's getting passed by a Porsche. I believe that might be Arjona.
Porsche.
Yeah, oh, you're right. It's on the screen there. Idiot. The idiot to me. John Picha, I believe also hasn't pit. Mike Magus into pit lane. So we'll get to see where he comes out shortly. It's also something of a guessing game to see who gets a penalty. Arjona coming in to serve his stop and go. 30 seconds is going to be devastating to his race. So I would expect him to be out more towards Barker.
Coconut Hutchison both should pass Magus.
The real question is, where is
Barker
Arjona?
might come out around Magus.
It's going to be close. I suspect... Oh, no. Barker's going into pits. So...
Higgs, meanwhile, coming through the lap.
So...
There's Magus, just left the pits.
So he's starting his first outlap. Or his outlap. The first lap
Up
out
ahead,
phase.
Hutchison,
Coconuts.
Molloy, Vandervalk, Butler up in 5th. So I guess that just does remain Max Simmons. Not sure where he was running before all this.
Still has not pit, right? A little bit perplexed that Javier Muniz has stayed. Do they give me any points for 17th place?
Probably.
In any case, whatever. It is their prerogative. Meanwhile, doesn't look like we have anything too super amazingly close happening. Maybe at the last chicane there's something going on, but not even then, not too much. Looks like the Butler already pit, right?
Hmm?
Yeah, Butler already pit.
Yep, Butler did indeed. He was really one of the first.
So with that exception, the Ferraris are doing terribly this race. Doug DeGroat and Car Heroes are Ferrari exemplars, rounding out last place.
It's become 37 minutes to go. Cole McRae, tell them all about ESR. Where should they go? Who should they join?
So ESR is a what we call an Eat Sleep Race. Is a little racing club, as you can see on screen. That is our little conglomerate of sim racing enthusiasts and real racing enthusiasts who just come get together every so often to have a good time racing cool sim race cars.
In fact, I'd say there's a race about every day, really.
Oh
across
yeah,
all different series.
at least one, yeah. So My current favorite is the Tuesday series of NSUs, these little tiny Mini Cooper looking things with about 4 horsepower for the whole field to split. If you want to join in and get the game they host on is Race Room Racing Experience. It's a free game. It'll cost you like a couple bucks for a car and maybe a couple more for the one of the tracks, but hugely worth it if you're getting into sim racing. It's game is okay on a controller, and we don't do any signups for those races, so you can just pop in whenever you want, say hi, drive some crazy fun little cars, do some short races. But if you want to learn more about the ESR and the services we provide, feel free to hop on over to raceapp.eu/ESR. We also have a Discord that you can find there.
Yep, if you just go to esr-race.org, that has a pretty easy little button to join the Discord.
Oh, that as well. I forgot we had our own website.
Yep.
So either of those, raceapp.eu/ESR or esr-race.org.
Note, while this is streaming on my channel, we should be moving it after post-race to ESR's own YouTube channel. There will indeed be a link to all of those in the description of this.
Very nice. And especially if you're looking to get into sim racing at all, it's a very good, we have a very low bar to entry. Obviously to get into these races, you will have to race cleanly and stuff. But if you just want to hop in and have fun, we have stuff running the entire gamut. We even have an academy series for the moment. I don't know if that's continuing next season.
No, it's gonna be the final.
Bummer. Well, we have still have plenty of people willing to provide help and help you learn more if you want to get into sim racing. Highly recommend it. Unfortunately, the market is a little saturated right now, so finding wheels may be a little bit difficult. But if you like what you see, hop on over, give us a call. We'll hook you up nice. It'll be good.
Yes, indeed. Meanwhile, coming up with about an hour into the race, and Higgs
55
hasn't
minutes.
pitted.
Still has not pitted. Andy Long has, though, and he's currently in the pits, so it'll be interesting to see maybe if there's a pace drop-off. These tires can more than likely go the full hour and a half, but we do have mandatory pit stops, so it is a perplexing maneuver to stay out as long as he has. Maybe he knows something we don't, but cannot say for certain. How many people haven't pit? Andy Anderson hasn't. Max Simmons definitely hasn't. Looks like almost everyone else has. Maybe Andy Anderson hasn't, and maybe Dimitri Simeonidis hasn't, but I want to say I'm not sure. So sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We got some strange notifications from YouTube saying that we may be having some streaming issues. We're attempting to rectify the problem as we speak, but
if
we
you've
had
made it this far, I assume you have been through those issues at this point.
yes. So well, we will see what happens. Unfortunately, our last stream was relatively flawless. So well, it looks like Max Simmons found himself in the first place, and through the pit window, Matt Higgs has garnered himself a 30-second stop and go penalty.
Oh,
so
that's
that
wonderful.
will be not great. He may well find himself in 4th or even 5th place as a result of that. Maybe even farther back, because Suzuka has a very long pit road.
So that brings it to Long versus Simonitis. Interesting.
Yeah, Simeonitis has clawed his way back up to 4th place.
That's exiting Hairpin versus exiting Degner too.
Hmm.
Bit of a gap there for Simonitis to go.
No, not. Okay. You mean Simeonitis versus Long? Okay, I think I meant Higgs versus Long. Anyway. Yeah, so quite a predicament Monsieur Higgs has found himself in. I wonder when Max Simmons is gonna pit. He is one of our last few to stay out. I wonder if his pit button is broken. Man, in the dark, that Ferris wheel looks cool, doesn't it? It's amazing. So if I remember correctly, you must serve any penalties within 3 laps or so, I believe, in this game. So Matt Higgs does have some time to build up a little bit of a lead. But of course, during penalty pits, you cannot do work on your car, so you won't have the opportunity to get fresh tires or fuel during that stop and go penalty. So that 30 seconds will probably end up being more like 60 or 70, depending.
Well, we are recording now, so regardless of how the live stream is going, if it decides to work out its flaws, the last 26 minutes of this exciting race will be recorded in full quality and at least uploaded.
Yeah, fortunately enough, the recording has been, there hasn't been a huge amount happening. We do apologize for any inconvenience. Obviously, we're not trying to make the stream not work, but last time it worked without a hitch, and we did a little bit of test earlier. It was seeming to be fine. So who knows? Our Google overlords work in strange, mysterious ways. Not that we can do anything about it, sadly. We will probably end up doing a simple recording for the last race at Kielami, just for that reason alone. So I believe Arjona, 12th now, has lost some positions. Not entirely sure to whom. Our attention was a little bit divided over the last few minutes, but I believe that is the case.
And there he goes.
So Higgs taking the last opportunity to serve his stop and go penalty. We'll have to see where he comes out, but already lost the position to Long. Simeonitis is quick to follow, I imagine. There goes Simeonitis with Anderson in tow. And Moley now, so
Yeah, he led the entire race, basically.
I think I heard a Porsche there, so Vandervalk as well, maybe. Yep. And Hutchison and Butler. Oh no. I think Vandervalk got a little bit untidy there at some point. I wonder what's happening, because it's been... Oh no, probably about 30 seconds. Never mind. It felt longer than that.
Back to 10th. In fact, he might just drop behind Magus. He will.
Oh yeah. So Matt Higgs. Oh, a disaster for Mr. Higgs. Losing.
Well, Magus is made
Nine.
up a little bit ground here.
Yeah. Well, you start 12th, I believe. Oh, let's check on the little scory doodad.
So, what do we have? Andrew Anderson, 4th place. Simonitis, right up ahead of him in 3rd. Andy Long in 2nd. Max Simons in 1st, who I just don't believe he pitted.
He has not pitted yet.
In fact, he's way too far ahead. Yeah, he has not pitted.
So, oh, Higgs still showing a penalty. Did he get another penalty?
Perhaps that will clear after this one.
Probably this next timing gate, but if it doesn't, there's a distinct possibility he's got another penalty.
Either way, this is your race for the lead. You got Simonitis approaching 130R. Andy Long heading out into the front straight. Ooh. Pretty decent sized gap there.
Yeah, Simonitis has quite a bit of work left to do. He's only got 20. Well, he has 23 minutes still, but it still won't be easy. Max Simmons has shown to have a pretty good pace. Even though he's told me he's working off of a phone's 4G connection right now, it seems to be serving him pretty well. And like I said, his pace has been solid, to say the least. Andy Long now catching up to what appears to be Douglas DeGroat. Oh, he just lets him by. Okay, I was going to say if he gets caught up too much, it'll be really bad, but doesn't look like it. Yeah, so Long has quite some distance. You might even say it's a long distance to go to get to the leader. I wonder if Simmons will be able to hold off Long for the lead after his pit, because I think that's him going around 130R right now. Yes, it was. So that's going to be a lot of time to make up, but the pits, it'll take a while to get the pit done.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think he's going to get anywhere near the lead when he finishes.
Still staying out. So
Pit window's 6 minutes to go.
So Max Simmons is going to have to pit over the next few laps if he wants to not get a 120-second penalty, I believe. No, 180-second penalty. So definitely worth it just to pit. I wonder if he knows. We have had the issue in the past where, yep, Matt Higgs indeed got another stop-and-go penalty.
Unfortunate.
So that's going to be basically the end of his race. Even as relatively mediocrely good of a driver as he is. Although didn't lose too many positions that time. Looks like the field is just more spread out toward the back. So as
Full minute of penalties, that's half a lap.
oh, more than that, because he has that doesn't include the amount of time that he's had to spend driving down pit lanes at 40 miles an hour or whatever. So there's a fate worse than death, truly, to Matt Higgs. Demetrius Simonitis battling in Anderson, it appears. Gotta say, Arjun, I'm very thankful that you memorized those keyboard shortcuts. So that I'd be totally lost if I was doing this on my own without the director tool.
There's Matt Higgs right in front of Long. We can, basically just say he's leading.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I guess technically Simmons is still leading.
Simmons is still leading. I hope he knows about the pit window.
I do too. That'll be a tremendous, unfortunate circumstance if he doesn't. I mean, as we saw, he hasn't lost really any pace. Maybe it's a smidgen too long over the last few laps. And again, bypassing pit lane. I wonder.
I hope he knows about just the whole pit regulations.
Definitely. Well, we could be seeing a repeat of what we saw at the beginning of last season's ACC race, where no one was pitting. That was partly due to an issue with the game, but also just people forgetting. Thankfully, it used to be that if you missed your pit window, it would be an automatic disqualification from the race. Thankfully, they've dialed it back a bit, although it is still kind of a fate worse than death. It's 180-second, I believe, penalty. So that's over. That's like a lap and a quarter added to your race. So again, 100%, and that's not even including the time you have to take while driving down pit lane. So it's probably more like a 210-second penalty. Anyway, we were just discussing some strategy. So this is Max Simmons' second to last opportunity to pit, and he's doing it. Okay, so we'll have to see where he comes out. Suspect it'll be past Long and potentially Simeonitis, but either way, he's setting himself up for some good.
Long's exiting Spoon.
Oh yeah, I don't think he'll have enough time.
Well, okay, then you
Simeonitis
is in Spoon, so can Simmons work his way?
I think Simmons will be able to stay ahead of the Simeonitis.
His tires aren't falling off too much, he's just been able to run clean while all the other guys have kind of run into bits of trouble here and there.
Yeah. So I don't think Long will be able. I don't think he'll be able to hold off Long, but I think Simeonitis will have a good chance of beating Simeonitis out of the gate. So that's Higgs, yes, and then Long goes by. Still not moving.
There's Simeonitis.
I don't think so. Never mind.
Gotta get going right now.
Nope, it's not happening. Okay, so down into fourth. Still though, what did he qualify? 8th? That sounds about right.
Oh, there's Anderson. And Simmons now moving. 5th place is now rounding the last turn, so yep, that should be 4th place for Simmons.
Very nice. So this strategy ended up working out very well for him. Started 7th, so I was almost on the money with that guess.
Meanwhile, for the lead, Simeonitis is now running. He's approaching Dunlop, while Long is heading into Degner 1 and 2, actually. So
a good 7 or 8 seconds, you'd say, maybe 9.
I think it's good. At least 10 seconds. It's a pretty healthy gap.
Oh, John Picha, drive-through penalty. I don't know. Must have been for cutting the track egregiously. He had pit a while ago, so it had to have been a track-related incident. That's unfortunate. We rarely see those in racing, at least in this series, and the other set of courses series as well. Someone getting passed right behind him. I think that might be Anderson.
Well, in the meantime, let's just take a little look through the field. Now things are kind of settling down.
Andy Long setting a best lap of 2:01.9. Our first driver, it looks, I think, to break the 2:02 mark. We just Simeonitis behind, and Andy Anderson, his strongest showing of the season so far. Car Heroes in 16th. This is a track order, not a sequential order. So John Barker in 13th. Holy moly in 4th.
Right ahead of Simons.
Right ahead of Simmons. So Simmons could actually theoretically battle out with Moley for
on
4th place.
Much fresher tires at this point as well.
Yeah, so he's got much fresher tires. They are colder, well, maybe a little bit. They're probably up to temp by now. But we have 15 minutes left, so coming into our last 8th. Wayne Hutchison has crawled his way up to 7th.
I wonder what happened to Butler, because remember, he came out ahead of Coconuts and Hutchison.
I was just going to say, didn't he might have had an incident of some sort. He might have spun off at Degner, I would believe. Joel Vandervalk, John Picha in 15th. Still has to serve that drive-through penalty. Mike Magus in 10th. Albert Arjona, what a fall from grace.
He had that penalty.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I forgot. Matt Higgs, our opposite of the hard charger.
All right, let's hop back to that fight. There it is.
We should have a most series have a hard charger award. I think we should award Matt Higgs the wah 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 get good award. Just kidding. What an unfortunate circumstance though. So Moley got passed by Max Simmons. So as we predicted, the fresh tires with only the strategy is paying off. Oh, Max Simmons gets way wide on the exit of the S's. Where the heck is it? He's still on the outside. They're going too wide through Dunlop. Max Simmons dips too off the track. I would have expected much worse if I'm honest. Going too wide through Dunlop is not normally recommended. So coming out of Degner 2, Max Simmons hot on the tail of Mola.
Coconut's catching them as well.
Although Mr. Coconut's Alexandre is within spitting distance, certainly. So with 13 minutes left to go and the night lengthening significantly, we have plenty to look at, ladies and gentlemen. So Max will still have quite a considerable tire wear advantage on Moley. That is gonna be very helpful, but he has to not get too bold because these tires are they're on the harder side, so you know it won't be a massive advantage, but we'll definitely have some. So you can see probably getting a better run out of the spoon curve. Still hot on the tail of Moley. Excuse me. As they come into the final chicane. What's the name of the chicane? I forget. Just curious. Casio Triangle. Learn some every day, ladies and gentlemen. So, Max. Ooh, going on the inside of Moley. Oh, a little bump. No foul play, I would say. Just maybe a little bit over eager. But now Moley has the inside. Then leading into Simmons having the inside. Another contact. They're again going through Dunlop. Oh no, this is still we're in the stillness S's. And again on the inside and the outside. But though Simmons makes it happen. Successful passing Moley. Going very wide.
Maybe.
Oh no! Oh no! Moley tips Simmons. Oh no!
Moley is waiting up for him.
Through Dunlop, although it will not save his position. Oh no! What is going on? Moley rejoins Simmons rejoins at a terrible time. Is that Butler that got by him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
These two will continue their fight, unfortunately, for 7th place.
Oh, what a tragedy! So
Let's
Max
check
Simmons.
real quick. Hutchison and Coconuts up to 4th.
So Hutchison continuing his long-standing tradition of being the Scott Dixon of our series, is just silently crawling his way through the field, making up positions after position. So Moley, I mean, I can't see him getting a penalty for that. He did give the position back, although it was 3 positions later. It's unfortunate that Simmons' strategy ended up not resulting in quite the potential position he had wanted. It was working very well for him, as you could have seen. His laps are good, but they're not exactly competitive with Higgs or Long or Simeonitis. So the fact that he was able to get his way up to 3rd is a testament to the strategy, or the adage that strategy can make more than actual driving. He was up there with not very much time to go, so